Hey folks, Colin Gray here from LearnDen.com and thepodcasthost.com. I just want to introduce you to a new tool that I've just bought myself, which is a Varidesk. So I've always worked at computers for decades, well, a decade or so now, and I've always had a bit of trouble with, stiff neck, sore back, that type of stuff, just the general posture issues that us as computer workers often get. So I've experimented in the past with standing desks, with standing working, basically building my own in the past. But there's always been a bit of trouble, as in, you can't stand up for 8 hours at a time, I find. So you want to sit down, you want to stand up, you want to be able to alternate. But the general electronic standing desks out there are just very expensive, very, very bulky, take up a big bit of your office. So something I found recently was the Varidesk. This was delivered to me yesterday by a very red-faced postman. It's a very, very heavy package. So the whole box arrived yesterday, and I unpacked it just this morning. Now, the first impressions are that obviously it weighs a ton. It's really high quality stuff. It's a solid piece of kit, it's not going to break, very balanced. And once I lift it up and show you how it looks lifted up, you'll see that it actually looks a little bit like it's going to overbalance, but it's because it has a very low centre of gravity because it's that heavy. But the principle is that you can have it just as this, so it's a normal desk normally. You can do it sitting down, so I'm on my chair just now, but then when I want to stand up, all I do is come over here, I reach over, I use the handles on the sides, and I lift it up like that. And then suddenly, everything is all high up and it's standing position. So I can just type away as normal, work away, just like this. Mouse is on both sides, that's what I use. So I just find it's a very comfy situation. Now this is the plus version, which means that it is a bit wider. It takes a monitor, and it also is the version that has the drop-down keyboard support. So this is on a different level from where the monitor goes. Now there's one version which is a bit cheaper, but it means that every time you stand up and sit down, every time you change positions, you have to move your keyboard. And it ends up so that when you're standing up, your keyboard will be on the same level as your monitor, and therefore you're not in the right posture. Whereas my monitor is a little bit above my keyboard, therefore my eye level is at the right height. As I said, because I've had trouble with sort of, stiff necks, posture problems in the past, I've looked a lot into the right posture, and you do need that 3, 4, 5 inches difference between where your monitor is and your keyboard is. So I felt it was worth paying that extra for the one that's about £25 more, I believe, to get the Plus version, which has the drop-down keyboard section. One thing I noticed with it is that I thought that these sections where the mouse now is would be a bit small. It's not exactly massive. Felt like it could do with possibly just being straight across there. I'm not sure why it is back here, so that we only have a small section for your mouse as opposed to just having a bigger section for your mouse. But actually, my mouse tends to be quite sensitive, or I set it quite sensitive, and it's fine in here. I can move the full length of screens up and down, no worries, even with high resolution, and it's all good. And the same on my left hand side as well. So actually, I found it to be absolutely fine. I've only had it set up for a day so far, so I've used it today. It's been really nice actually being able to alternate between standing up, sitting down. Just gives me a bit more energy. It sort of stops you feeling so lethargic. I think it keeps your brain working a bit more effectively during the day. Just because you're on your feet, you're not sitting down and losing that energy as you go. And I'm looking forward to experimenting with podcasting as well, because I've heard people talking about standing podcasting before, and the fact that if you're going for half an hour to an hour, it just gives you a bit more energy because you're standing up again, you're moving around, you're not sort of settling into that. What sometimes happens when you're interviewing somebody, you're sitting there, you're getting a bit low energy, your mind starts to wander a little bit. So I'm quite looking forward to trying it with podcasting for that purpose. But it's been great today, just alternating up and down with just my general work. So that's about it for the Varidesk. I'm really enjoying it so far. As I said, it's only a day, but really pleased with the product. It's really easy to use, really simple, really solid. It wasn't cheap at all, 350 or so pounds, but I'm hoping that it's going to be worth it and help me sort out some sore necks and backs in the future. So I hope you found that useful, and obviously if you have any questions, then pop it in the comments below the video. So thanks for watching.